Okay, welcome to the April 8th Shrewsbury Housing Authority Board meeting. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the April 8th, 2025 Board meeting of the Shrewsbury Housing Authority. We're here at Francis Gardens. Thank you, folks, for having us. And we're going to get started right away. Has everybody had a chance to look at the minutes?
Mr. Chair, with your permission, I'd like to make a motion that we move the March 11th minutes as printed.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any questions, comments, discussion? There being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that takes care of that. Treasury's report. Kelly, all's in order?
Was in order.
Everything looks good. Anybody have any questions there?
No.
Okay. Moving on then to the revolving account. We have $195,288 worth of expenses. That's a few bucks for the month.
I'll have a question, Mr. Chair.
Okay,
The 30,000 Commonwealth of Mass, is that insurance or something, Kelly? It's like 5 down, Commonwealth of Mass, GSC.
It is the 3/4 every quarter we pay, and that's for our health.
Health insurance, that's what I
You
thought.
guys gotta talk a little louder.
okay. That's fine. Okay, do we have any other questions
No, I would just
on this list?
make a note, Mr. Chair, there's a 30,000 health insurance and there's a 50,000 retirement, which is why, if you subtract out those 80,000, that would bring us to our typical billing. It's those two very, very large numbers.
Okay. And we have a commercial insurance bill. And
Workers' comp also.
workers' comp. Okay. Any questions?
No.
There being none, do we have a motion?
Mr. Chair, with your permission, I'd like to make a motion that we pay the monthly bills, 46 checks in the amount of $195, $288, and 2 cents.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Steve, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Very good. Okay. Kelly, do we want to talk about maintenance updates at all? If not, we'll go to the next.
Mr. Chair, I'd
call.
like to make a motion that we take the Section 8 vouchers, 2 checks in the amount of $2,687.24.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any questions, comments, discussion?
Nope.
There being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make another motion for the Section 8 vouchers. This time, we have 146 checks for landlord and tenant, 183, 114, 10.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Very good.
Continuing on, Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the payroll for the month of March as printed.
All right, do we have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, all unanimous. All right, Kelly, talk to us.
We have 3 vacancies at Francis Gardens. 2 of those vacancies will be move downs. The tenants were on a transfer list from second floor, they're moving down to the first. And 3rd vacancy is a second floor, so we're in the process with the champ
Okay,
update. No vacancies at Elizabeth or family as of yet.
so in Francis Gardens, with these moves, then there'll be 2 vacancies there.
Yes, the second floors will move down to the first, then I
So we'll
will
have two-
have 3.
Three vacancies on the second floor.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And do you start the champs process now for that, or?
Already.
Already, okay, good. Okay. Anybody have any questions for her on the vacancy reports?
Nope.
Okay. Section 8, the towers.
Towers are leased up.
Okay. I was going right by it. Section 8,
100% leased.
Okay. I see on the social service report that we had 39 specific points of attention. Any questions, anybody? Okay, there being none, moving along. Okay, Kelly.
I think that's Kathy.
Well, Kathy,
That's me.
CPC Affordable Housing Trust updates.
Yes, so, first off, every year for, community preservation, we as, committee members are asked to go out to the community and see if there's any ideas for community preservation type projects. So, I have a little bit to share, but if you think of things, one thing I'd love if more people would talk about would be a dog parks. It's just my personal thing. Yeah, can you believe it? But, it's not just housing related. My job on the community preservation, or my role, is as a representative from the housing authority, but it really is a community-wide thing. So if anyone has any suggestions, feel free to let us know, and the same goes for the board. One of the things we have been working on is to try to do some expansion down at Elizabeth Gardens. We've identified some land that we think we might be able to build on. We have done two things so far. One was a survey, the other was a conceptual plan, and we took that data and then received a more detailed report for the next 6 things that have to happen in order for us to be able to pursue some building. So I submitted an application, I typed it, we all submitted it. The first step is the eligibility application, so we submitted that. The committee discussed it last night and did agree that this project would be eligible for community preservation funds. And then the second step, which we just happened to do all at the same time, was the funding application, which was also approved. So they are in agreement that this meets community preservation standards. And the next step is for it to be put on the warrant for the next town meeting, which we weren't in time to do it for the spring's town meeting, but we'll get it on for whenever the fall town meeting is. So good news, we got the green light from them. And if town meeting agrees, then we'll be able to potentially start getting some work done, and eventually, someday, maybe be able to build something down there.
Nice
So-
work, Kathy. Good
Yep,
job.
so, yeah, we, and Richard and I met with, prior to that meeting, with a group from the planning
The
board to
town
try to.
planner as well as the assistant town planner is, 2 assistant town planners.
Yep.
Yep.
To try to lay the groundwork for that, so, I think we're moving along, it's gonna be a long process.
And Kelly was with us for that
Yep.
process too.
Yep, so I think that was a good meeting. The next step for me in my role on community preservation is to meet with Affordable Housing Trust, and I think you may come to that meeting too,
Yep.
on the 16th, just to let them know what we're working on, because there are some ways that we can partner with them and get some money from them. So that's the plan, and if anyone has anything they would like me to bring back as far as potential projects, I'm happy to do that.
Thank you, Kathy.
Okay.
So was it formally approved, like the meeting I went to a year ago?
Formally approved,
By-
but what we do is we make recommendations
right.
to the select board to put on
Correct.
the warrant, and then town
Right,
meeting
but
decides,
that,
but
that
yes.
box is checked,
Yeah,
it's
the
okay,
one thing they have to do is have a public meeting
okay,
to see if there's any thoughts from the public on it,
Okay.
but they have agreed it's eligible, and they've agreed to fund it.
okay, that's
So
what I
if
was,
something comes out of the public meeting,
which I can't imagine.
which I can't imagine, but after that, that's when they vote to add
Okay.
it to the warrant.
Okay,
Or
thank
to the
you.
select board for the warrant,
Yeah, so that'll probably be October.
hopefully. Because some of this work would be better to be done in better weather too, so we're hoping it's sooner, but last year it was November,
Was it? I always think of it as being in October, okay.
so,
And this year we have one Monday.
right.
Which we're not on.
No, this is, it's a one warrant
Mhm.
issue, independent of anything we're talking about.
Right. Okay, so that's the CPC and.
Yeah, and Elizabeth Street
Affordable
updates.
housing
Yep.
update and the Elizabeth Street update. I would point out the letter that is in your package relative to funding. We will face some hurdles in terms of ongoing funding, in terms of the operating subsidy question. And that's something that we'll need to strategize at some stage. We'll need to give that some thought. So that's our rep telling us that right now, what used to be DHCD now is EOHLC, does not have any funds for, to tell us that there is a pot that we can draw on for operating subsidy moving forward. So, although less than a year ago, they said they had plenty of money, now they're saying that they don't have any money. So, we'll have to deal with that, moving forward. As these things go, though, the process is a lengthy process anyway. So, and things change, as we know. So, I would suggest that, as we are moving, let's keep moving, and, I'm sure that, the financial environment will change, in the future, because it always does. So, any questions at all about any of this?
My only question, if I could, is it talked about if we had, about the Section 8 voucher. We're full, but if we weren't, we would benefit from this, that seems.
They would use it as project-based vouchers.
Okay.
So out of the 177 vouchers that we have, say 7 of them couldn't find a place. We could put them in there and that subsidy stays within that unit. If that individual decides to leave, they can't take that Section 8 voucher with them. They'll be called project-based vouchers.
Okay.
So the unit would have the
unit
voucher,
would
not
have
the
the
construction
voucher.
cost, but the ongoing, which is a small win, not a huge win, but a small win. The way I read it is that we can't give you money to build, or right now, we don't know where there is, but if you have Section 8 and you want to allocate it to that, once built, now you're funded. Is that how you read it?
Yes, well, I've dealt with both,
Okay.
project-based and Section 8. Say 7 of those vouchers that we wanna use towards the Elizabeth Street project. We're never going to get those 7 vouchers back for house and choice vouchers, where they could go anywhere. They would stay, and it's different money, so
It converts them.
we would
But I'd be
lose
okay with
money
that.
Right.
from the feds, HUD, on that. So I'm,
And we'd have to have the units built to use them.
Right, that's
so
the,
it's
that's the
kinda- it
gotcha,
doesn't even
Kathy.
matter.
That was the gotcha to me, like,
Right.
we can't help you build it, but if you build it, we can help you fund it. So it's a win, but it's a very small win.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why I say things change
Right.
going forward, and they always do. So, right now, the outlook is, I would term it questionable for funding, but, that's not a reason for us to not move forward, because things change as they always do.
And there's other places for us to get some, with
Yes.
these little steps, these small little pieces, we have enough of those little pieces done, maybe eventually there'll be funding and we would have done enough,
Yes,
fingers crossed, but I think we just gotta keep chipping away.
yes. And there's other avenues that we'll explore as we move forward.
Yep.
So, okay. Any other questions on Elizabeth Street at all? Okay, Kelly, if you want to get into the next issue, which is the CFA?
the CFA, this is a contract for financial assistance. This is for fiscal year 2027 and fiscal year 2028. This is only for the state aided projects. We got, for 2027, EHOLC is giving $191,862.70. And for fiscal year 2028, they're giving $208,546.42. That is for fish projects. You guys all hear me talk about fish projects. That is for when we sit down and we say,
The sidewalk needs repair, or something needs repair.
yes.
Yeah.
They also were giving us 27,200 in agent in place awards. And that is for that one walk-in shower we were talking about last week.
Right.
So with that being said, I just need your signature and they will release the money.
we need a motion to
Accept.
to
yes.
accept the contract for financial assistance as printed.
Mr. Ricker, with your permission, I'd like to make a motion that we accept and approve the EOHLC contract dated March 25th to Kelly Bergeron for the two fish projects in the Aging in Place project, totaling $427,609.12.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Does anybody have anything they wanted to ask about this? Yes, Kathy?
We're probably looking at one shower though, right, for 27,000?
Yes, that's
That,
why I
that
said
appears to
Yeah,
be
you're
the
good.
case.
Yeah.
That's why she was very careful to say the shower.
Yeah,
Singular.
It's amazing.
1.5 showers.
yeah.
It's as amazing as that sounds, yes. Any other questions?
No.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Do we have all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay, unanimous. Thank you. Okay. Kelly?
The last is, Kathy asked if I would put in the board packet the veterans flyer.
Yeah, that, I think we all received that, probably, and I just thought it might be good to share.
Yeah, I thought they were looking for a sponsor. I wouldn't be in a rush to sponsor it, but we're happy to support it.
Right, if anybody wants to go and
Yeah.
volunteer that day, that's wonderful. If you don't, well, we understand that as well. But it is June 13th, which is their 20th annual stand-down day for Veterans, Inc. June 13th, 2025, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And that will take place at 69 Grove Street in Worcester, Mass. If anybody wants to volunteer, help out, donate any items, then please feel free to do so. If you need any more details on this, you can contact Kelly.
Question, Mr. Chair. Kelly, would that be something, and you can say no if it's a bad idea, that if your staff wanted to volunteer, you would consider that? Or
Yes, I would.
Okay, so meaning not time off, meaning it would be recognized, but at least my opinion, that would be something I'd be supportive of, if staff wanted to volunteer.
Is it a Saturday?
Oh, even better then.
It's either a Friday or
I
Saturday.
think it is.
Oh, then never mind. I stand corrected
I
in
think it is.
like a knucklehead.
No, it's a Friday.
No, all right,
Really? Stand on?
it is. Yeah, I just looked. So she's right. So
Yes,
yeah, I would say if the staff wanted to do that, that would be a way of us giving back and the board supporting it, at least my 2 cents. I don't think you need a vote or anything.
No.
Okay.
It's up to Kelly and her decisions on staffing
Yeah.
and needs of that particular day.
Right, right.
So, any other new business, anybody?
No, sir.
Okay, yes,
The land we talked about
yes,
at
the additional land.
the additional land, we had 2 parcels identified as additional land that is town-owned behind.
Yeah.
I think there's a third. I think there's a piece along the side that is also town-owned.
And just so the board knows, and so everybody knows, we did make a pitch at the meeting with the town planner for him to review that and tell us whether that might be something that he could talk to the powers that be about potentially transferring that to the housing authority for future use.
But I think this parcel, I looked this parcel up, and this is a third parcel that's also owned by the town,
But that, which parcel is that?
right here. Right here.
Oh, okay,
That's 9 May Street. It's almost 4 acres.
long, narrow parcel, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
So we have to revise our pitch,
yeah. You sure about that?
yes.
Surprised John didn't pick that up. Who hasn't been paid, by the way?
Yes, I'm on top of that.
Yep. Okay, so that's something that we will further approach the town on.
Yes.
Okay,
And as part of that, when we were there, there's one of the things on for the CPC that they're working on is a path around Jordan Pond, a walking path. That'll be one of the things on the warrant, and we are talking to them about making sure there's a little access point for Elizabeth to get down there. So I told them we were gonna bring that up every time we met to make sure that doesn't slip through the cracks.
right. How many acres is that?
3.76.
Okay. Yes, Kathy did bring that up, and
More
there seemed to be universal agreement, though, that that was a
Right.
great idea,
Yep.
so.
I just don't want it to get pushed aside. Exactly,
Forgotten.
yes. That's all I have.
Okay. Anybody else? All right, now's the time we open it up to say hello to you folks. How's everybody doing?
Pretty good.
Good. Anybody have anything to say?
Yeah, I hate to keep bringing this up, but that age in place with the shower, is that gonna start as soon as these apartments become vacant?
It's also dependent on the funding.
Yes, so I'm not sure where, Gary and I need to talk about it. We probably don't wanna do it maybe like at Elizabeth Street, maybe like on the first floor there, we wanna try one. Just to see how it goes, but we need to talk to see how it's gonna go in first.
I can be a guinea pig. Yeah, but we're gonna have 3 vacancies, we could. Yeah.
I understand. With the amount, we probably have to have an engineer come in.
Yeah.
We need to find out how much it's going to
Right.
cost, what needs to be taken down, the flooring, the walls.
Then go through the bid process.
Yes, so there's the 27,000. That's how quickly it's going to go.
Unfortunately, whenever we spend money on something like this, we are assisted and hampered by the process for public bidding and all of the things that go along with that. So,
But once you do it for one apartment, will that open it up to,
no,
If it's over 10,000, which we expect it to be, we.
over 10,000 to have it done? Or-
Just starting with the process, yes, of getting, probably an engineer, am I right, engineer, architect?
Anything over 25 for an engineer.
Would we have to have an
Yeah.
engineer
And
for
we
each?
said determine whether the handicap units come first.
yeah, I think we have to, really have to map out a process. This is so new on our plate that I think you're asking a very valid question as to why can't we do it in the units that are gonna be opening up. One of the answers, and the quickest answer for that, is that we don't wanna see a unit stay vacant for more than 60 days. And while we're going through the process of determining how to accomplish these particular changes to the units, and coming up with, I hope, a template of how to move forward,
And then you gotta have bids and.
and then to figure out whether we have to do bids every single time, or how the process will work. All of that needs to be worked out before we can actually spend the money. So, I guess that's my simple answer, which is, I wouldn't be in favor of doing it now at Francis Gardens in light of the fact that we have people that want units, need units, and I don't want to see a unit stay vacant for more than 60 days, if we don't have to.
Understood.
So, anything else you want to add to that, Kelly?
No, you said it all.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
The
Yes.
expansion at Elizabeth Gardens, I believe those are going to be family units.
We haven't fully decided that yet. We're still in the process of determining that, and some of that determination will be made as we explore and determine what funding we're gonna use.
But I have said in all the paperwork, ideally, family units.
Yes.
Is the expression I've used, but we are not in a position to decide that now, but.
We love our government.
Well, I can tell you this, that we know that we need family units in this town. We all know that. And that it's a dire need, frankly, so.
Does the Housing Authority housing have any impact on the MBTA foolishness that's going on?
No, we don't have any impact on that, we have no say in that. We are not allowed any input in that process.
And it doesn't count.
Well, whatever does get built for affordable housing within those developments would count, but as I understand it, the requirement for a certain percentage of affordable housing units is not there for this type of housing.
Yes, it's 15 units per acre is the MBTA requirement. And so this wouldn't apply. The good thing is because it passed in town, our grant money is not at risk, because had it not passed in town, then we would run the risk of losing grants. Not that there's a grant particular for this now, but
No, but any grant at any time.
Any grant at any
point,
time.
yeah.
Any grant at any time, and of course, we wouldn't want that to affect our ability to seek funding.
Of course.
Any other questions? Come on, how's everybody doing? Yes,
How about the college students?
Kelly.
Kelly,
So I apologize. So I had 2 meetings with Francis Gardens and asked that they clean their hallways from anything that's in there obstructing. And they did. I gave them 3 weeks because we were having 30 college students from Assumption. Well, the bus broke down.
That is fantastic.
So they said they'll see us next year.
Next
But-
year.
But I've already talked to Gary, and the maintenance guys are going to do those halls because everybody worked hard getting those halls free
Cleaned
of
out.
clutter. Yes, so they will be getting cleaned,
okay,
okay?
yeah, I wasn't sure.
They are,
Yeah. A
yes.
few people were asking me, like, I should know, but I mean, come to the meeting and ask.
And I would have been out here yesterday, but we had a little emergency at the towers and
Yeah, but that was fine.
But as you can probably guess, there'll be a little bit of a delay because it's now on our maintenance to do this, instead
Yes,
of having,
and they have
instead of having
apartments that
30
take
college
care of
kids
us.
that are
Yeah,
young and strong.
Yeah.
Getting a free day off from classes.
yeah.
Nothing's free.
I know.
The hallway. What is the problem? For instance, I have this couple of little pictures, but they with a wooden frame and just, that you used to buy them, and I had them hanging there, and it looks so nice, and I don't know what the problem is, that you can't hang anything up.
On the walls?
Yeah,
Is it fire code?
It's fire code.
It's fire code. It's flammable magna.
and then one more thing, when I go up, I have 2 higher vases with artificial flowers in there on either corner. And
And those need to go inside your apartment. My big thing is when the fire department comes or the ambulance comes, I need it free of stuff. I need them working on that emergency with not moving other people's belongings out of the way.
it looks so, I mean, I walked
I
up there and
understand
got
it's
everything
beautiful.
out of there. It looks so empty, it looks so.
I know, I'm sorry, but that's why I said we're gonna get these halls cleaned and then there's no more stuff in those halls. It's fire regulation. Nothing can be in those
I can
halls.
see people don't have a box there or something, but just a little vase with a.
Someone's pulling in a gurney, or if they're
Yeah.
carrying somebody out, they need all the room and all the access and egress available.
And if they do that little vase for you, then the next
Yes.
person wants a
Gonna
little
want
bigger
it,
vase,
yeah.
and
And the
Just
next
gets-
person wants a lounge chair.
Yeah. And in my building alone, I've seen those poor firemen have to come into the building and take everything out of the hallway so that the ambulance crew can get in and they can get up the
And
stairs.
if they break it while they're moving it, there's liability.
Yeah,
so-
and they do it with a smile on their face, but you know that under their breath, they're probably saying, "What the hell?" Because you can't even make it up the stairs in my building sometimes. So how can a gurney or a fireman with a bag full of medical stuff go up that way, so I can understand it.
No offense, but we don't want the liability of someone not getting proper care just because of
Exactly,
that being the case.
exactly, I agree,
So
I agree.
I hope everybody understands.
I
Yes,
have a
Maureen?
question.
Yes.
How is it determined whether they're going to use the front entrance or our back fire escapes? Because for whatever reason, Building 10, we've had the ambulance there at least twice in this past week, but they've used the back.
Really?
I think
They make that
They
determination.
make that
Yeah.
decision.
Yeah.
Well, their fire trucks are,
Yeah.
they can only,
I think
Well, it doesn't matter to
Yeah,
me,
it's
but,
it's entirely up to them. They know the facility, they have a layout of
Yeah,
this
they-
Yes.
facility. So,
they know,
so they know where they wanna go,
Yeah.
so.
Building 10, they always put in
Yeah.
the back. The
Yeah,
ambulance
because that's the
and
one
fire
place you can
truck.
put the ambulance and the fire truck and the police cruisers right up that line,
Yeah.
so
they
it's
come in like
perfect.
front, because the back, they can't,
Yeah.
they can't drive up to the
yeah,
back. so.
exactly. It's
Right.
different for each building.
Well, I'm sorry
They
for the
could come
inconvenience
behind
of
it,
having to
could
remove
front or back.
nice items and pretty items from the hallways, but it is a safety issue and it is a access issue for the fire department, and it is a code issue that is constantly brought to our attention, so please bear with us. And we thank you for your cooperation in that regard, so. Anybody else? With that said, thank you again for having us. We appreciate your hosting the Shrewsbury Housing Authority Board of Commissioners. We love coming here and seeing you.
Mr. Chair, before I make a motion to adjourn, someone said we love our government, I would echo the sentiment and remind everyone that before our next meeting, we have a town election on May 6th, and I would encourage everyone to vote. Local politics matter the most, especially for folks like you that rely on local services. So that's my PSA, if anyone wants to comment.
And there's a
this
lot
time.
of people on the menu this
Yeah.
year,
Yes.
so, a lot of people running for office, so, please pay attention if you can.
Make the best one.
And with that, Mr. Chair, I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second by Maria. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.